But I want to welcome you tonight. I am Patty Cottle. I'm the Diversity and Inclusion Manager for the City of Grand Rapids. And it is the Diversity and Inclusion Office of the City as well as the Purchasing Office of Grand Rapids Community College that is bringing you together tonight to talk about your micro LBE designation and give you some information that can help you in the long run. This would not have all been possible without Mansfield and Alex coming together and really fleshing this out and putting it together for our micro LBEs. I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about the packet that's on your table. There's information in there from the City of Grand Rapids Diversity and Inclusion Office, Grand Rapids Community College Purchasing Department, as well as Joan Epperson from Global Solutions Incorporated, and Joan is in the back. Joan has a very unique opportunity that she's going to be talking about tonight. But before any of that starts, you'll see a yellow sheet on your table. Please fill that out. That is directly related to what Joan is going to be presenting and the opportunity that Joan is going to be presenting to businesses in West Michigan through a grant through the Chicago Urban League. So even on the other side of the lake, they're looking at West Michigan as someplace that's ahead of our time and really looking at what we're doing for our local businesses. If you fill that out now, Alex is saying I will pick it up. With that, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Alex, and I will be technical support for the meeting. Alex is going to take you through the agenda and talk about the city's policies on micro-local businesses. And then Mansfield will be talking about the community colleges policies, and then Joan will be presenting the Urban League opportunity. Alex?
See that, Patty?
What?
They clapped when I stood up. The reason why we have the microphones is basically because we are recording this so that we don't have to do it over and over again. Because we know that we will have more opportunities to share with you what we're going to share with you tonight before we share it with anybody else. Now, in my hand, I have a list of about 432 companies that are registered with the City of Grand Rapids as a small business, and they're all located in Kent County. Now, I don't know if they are all eligible to be micro LBEs, but they were all invited here tonight. And just most of the people who are here are micro LBEs, and at some point I believe you've used the designation for something. So our goal when we met with the community college was that we want to make this designation more valuable to you. We know it will work with the city, but we also know that there are some other things that you can also get from the city in addition to being a micro LBE, so we'll share that with you tonight too. But the first thing, one of the things I want to do is get a gauge from you. Okay, so I know you settled down in your seat, but in your packet you see the little dots. And up on the charts we have 5 boards. One is Grand Rapids Community College, Kent County, Grand Valley State University, the City of Grand Rapids, and Grand Rapids Public Schools. These are our targets. These are the organizations that we feel can use your designation. And tonight we're celebrating a little bit because one of them has decided to do that, and he's going to share that with you, Mansfield will. But I want you to do me a favor. If you look at those dots, the red one says yes, the green one's, no, did I get it wrong? I knew that was, all right, take down the sign. The red one says no, the green one says yes, and the blue one says want to, okay? So ignore the little tapestry, but the dots are correct. On your own, if you would go to each one of these boards and you only have one dot, put the green one if you have gotten work from that organization, contract, have done business with them since 2008. In the last 3 years, have you gotten any work with them? Let's say so. Put the blue there. Put the green there if you did. If you haven't, put a red. If you want to get work with them, or if you're trying to get work with them, put the blue. So can we do that in about 5 minutes? And then when everybody settles down, we'll pick it up. Each board, go to each board. Only one sticker. And then, okay.
Didn't think that one all the way through.
Well, I did, but what I want you to see is that, let's start with Grand Rapids. I do see some green ones up there, but in each case, there are more red, for the most part, than there is green. You agree with that? You're not getting as much work as you might want, but there are people with the county. I only see 2 green ones. With Grand Valley, I see quite a few, at least 5. And Grand Rapids, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 8. GRPS is telling. I see no greens up there at all. Is it? Is it 1? Okay. That's why when the city of Grand Rapids, we are intentionally trying to market micro LBEs in this community. We already know that it works. It works with Grand Rapids. It can work even better, and I'll share with you how it can work better, because a lot of you who are in construction, you use it probably more than those who are not in construction, but there's an opportunity for those who are in goods and services to take advantage of a lot of discounts that we have. How many Grand Rapids based companies do we have in here? You're in Grand Rapids. Are your income tax current? Your taxes with the city current? Do you know we'll give you a discount for that? How many have that discount? Just one. Well, where's Nadeem? Oh, yeah, you should have it. Well, what we're saying is, just because you're micro LBE doesn't mean that you're excluded from any and everything else. So I just want us to keep that in mind. What we will share with you is what we're trying to do with each one of these organizations as we go forward for micro LBEs. And at this point, I will turn it over to Mansfield so that he can share with you what Grand Rapids Community College is doing.
Thank you, Alex. You got my PowerPoint there, Patty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just curious, how many in here have done business with Grand Rapids Community College? Okay. How many have not? And how many want to? Okay. All right. I have a PowerPoint I'm going to take you through explaining our micro local business enterprise initiative, and we have adopted the MLBE policy, so the discounts are currently available. And I'm sorry, I'm going to introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. My name is Mansfield Mathewson, and I serve as Director of Purchasing at Grand Rapids Community College. And I just want to say, I know that Alex and myself, I'm passionate about this. I want everyone in this room to do business with the college. I really do. You might see this calm exterior, but when I'm at my desk, I'm working to make sure that GRCC is inclusive. So I just want you to know that's a passion of mine, and any of you can approach me at any time, and I'll do my best to work with you. Okay, next slide.
And may I add, if you don't mind, I can certify that Mr. Mansfield has the true passion, and Alex as well. I think they've done tremendous, and in my experience with just dealing with the recent bid with GRCC, Mr. Mansfield was right there, in every step helping me out, and I think because of that we were able to make that synergy and partnership. Thank you.
Okay, what is a micro local business enterprise? A business certified for a period of time by the City of Grand Rapids is meeting special business requirements, such as being an established business, registered as a small business with the SBA, and meeting additional requirements of business size, location, and personal net worth on the controlling owners in order to qualify for bid discounts. Anytime you want to stop me, just do so. So why did we do it? How did we do it? We developed a GRCC policy criteria based upon economic factors, geographic factors, and the size of the business. In other words, criteria that's race and gender neutral. And why can't we do race and gender anymore? Everybody knows that. Prop 2, exactly. So this was, at GRCC, our answer to Prop 2 and to further diversify our supplier base. Next slide. What are the benefits? We feel there will be more opportunity for local area businesses, increased local and regional opportunities, provides increased opportunity for GRCC spend to mirror the community it serves. That's my goal, is for GRCC's overall spend, which is about $25 million. I know that's not huge, but we want it to mirror the community we serve. We want it to mirror the available businesses and the students. That's what we want it to look like. And when it looks like that, I think we've achieved success. And we also think that this reduces the handicap for small businesses, because many times a small business just can't compete with the huge conglomerates, and we know that. Next slide. What are the benefits? We will give up to a 5% discount on goods and services. If you're an MLBE and you're registered with the City of Grand Rapids and you're current, we will give you a 5% discount on your bid. We'll give incrementally up to 5% to general contractors utilizing MLBEs as subcontractors. And the scale is right here. So if you have 2.5% participation in your contractor from MLBEs, I'll give you a 1% discount. If you have 18% or greater, I'll give you a 5% discount. Up to 5% incrementally to businesses utilizing MLBEs as second-tier vendors as well, and also up to 5% for joint venture bids. And if you want more detail about how that works, go back, Patty. Or did I do that? Go back one more. Joan gave me this high technology thing. There's a GRCC policy in your packets, so that will explain it in greater detail. There's a whole section called Micro Local Business Enterprise. Okay, next slide. So this is how it works. Here's a bid tab. I borrowed this from the City of Grand Rapids, but it works. Here, Pioneer Construction, their bid was $31,457. They earned a 1% discount. So we subtract $314.57. So this is the number that we'll use to analyze the bid, to evaluate the bid. Make sense? That did not change the ranking on this particular bid, but you see how it could, depending on how many points you earn, what your percentage of discount is. So that's exactly how it works. Are there any questions on this chart? It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Okay, next slide. Who's engaged at GRCC? I've made sure that our leadership is engaged, our trustees, our president, cabinet, and deans, our supplier diversity team, who's critical to educating and advocating and driving the initiative departmentally at GRCC, our budget control officers. Who are budget control officers? They are the people that control all the various budgets and control the spend. They monitor all those buys to ensure inclusiveness. And of course, the purchasing department that I'm responsible for to monitor initiative campus-wide and to provide reporting and maintain what we call our dashboard, which is just a system for reporting. And GRCC as a whole to provide advocacy that this initiative supports our statement of being the community's college and our goal of being a college of distinction. And lastly, GRCC suppliers, we want you to advocate and we want you to endorse this and we want your engagement in this initiative. Next slide. Why are we further engaged? GRCC believes that this initiative supports our mission, values, and our ends, our statement of being a community's college, and our goal of being a college of distinction. Our vision as a college of distinction, GRCC inspires students to meet the needs of the community and the world. Our mission, GRC, is open access. And I think that open access applies to more than just students. I think it applies to the business community as well. We're open access. Anybody can approach GRCC to do business. Anybody can approach us to do business. I think it supports our values of excellence, diversity, responsiveness, certainly innovation, accountability, and sustainability from a social and economic viewpoint, and also respect. So we think this initiative supports our mission, vision, values, and ends substantially. Next slide. How does a business become certified? And Alex will talk about this later in detail, I'm sure. But it's a 9-year program. The business has to be established for at least 2 years. You have to register with the CCR, Central Contractor Registration, and the City of Grand Rapids, and your business location has to be within Kent County. Has to be within Kent County. We're going to look at moving that out to Ottawa County at a later time, but right now it applies to Kent County only. Next slide. Your business size is determined by the CCR based upon your NIACS code, correct? Okay, and also your personal net worth cannot exclude $250,000, excluding the value of your primary home. And then, of course, we need an affidavit. I just put a legal opinion in here from Miller Canfield and from our council. This is a legitimate program. It's legitimate. That's all I'll say. Where can this have impact? We think at our college, at the city level, at the county level, the state, and even the national level. Next slide. When? GRCC now. We implemented the micro local business enterprise policy February 22nd, 2011. So these discounts are currently available at GRCC, and I want each and every one of you to take advantage of them. Next slide. Why is Mansfield here? In order for this initiative to be successful, we need your advocacy, we need your endorsement, we need your feedback, we need your support of the initiative's credibility at GRCC and within the community, and most of all, we need your engagement. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Well, the Mansfield, I don't know if I heard him say it, but I hope he did say it. They are the first community college in the state that has a program similar to what we have. It's very close to what we have, but they're the first in the state that's doing anything to help small businesses. And being a part of the city of Grand Rapids and being in the city, we applaud them for that, and we will work with them with their program because we believe in it. But we have some issues, and some of our issues are not that the program does not work. Technically, it works. Our issue has been that we find that in goods and services, you're not interested in being a micro LVE until you see there's a bid coming up or something. And I understand that. We understand that. But we're also saying if you wait too late, you may miss that opportunity. It may not take you very long to meet the requirement to be a micro LVE, but there are other discounts. What we found, like Mansfield will give you 5%, but the city, that's only 1%. We're looking at working that up to 3%. And the reason being is that we have 18 other bid discounts that you can get. And I want to make sure that you know about those because some micro LBEs have stated to us that, well, I can only get 1%. And I'm saying you can get 5 without even trying. And I mentioned before the income tax. If you call my office and you're micro LBE, you will get high priority. We will work with you, make sure that you know everything about a bid that's coming up and that you are in that mix. But we also will tell you strategically what type of discounts you can get right away. And you should get that income tax discount every year. Now, you have your micro LBE for 9 years, but the income tax is only as good as your current taxes. We also have, we don't know where you're located, but if you're in the city's general target area, which is a huge area, if your business is located there, you can get up to 5% for being there, just for being in our general target area. And that's the general target area is a designated area by the city that HUD said we want to do more economic development activity for small businesses. So we encourage that. If you're there, get that designation because if you don't move, you get that every year. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you, in your packet, I gave you the list of all 19 of those discounts. If you think you can get one of those discounts or any of those discounts or multiple number of those discounts, on our website, our guidelines will explain every single one of them and how they work. A lot of them are very easy to get. And that's why I get sort of concerned when I hear somebody that submitted a bid and they missed it by just a little bit, and all they needed was one other discount point. We've had that. We've had I won't say her name, but she had the best bid. It was very close. It was within, I think, like $75 of the other one. All she needed was that 1% discount that she would have qualified for, but she didn't have it, so she didn't get it. But she knew better next time. The other thing that I want to share with you is that the real importance to us is that the city's going to do what we do. We're just glad that Grand Rapids Community College understands the value of doing it too. One of our goals is to make sure that everybody in this community that has the ability to use micro LBEs will do so. So you look at the chart, like I said, you look at Grand Rapids Public Schools, and I see one. Is there a green one there? No. Not one. Why? Have you tried? Oh, I see some red ones. That means you tried and didn't get work, or and so what we're saying to you, that we are working hard to get them that to the table. We didn't have to work hard to get GRCC to the table. They were trying to get there, and they liked what we were doing, and they adopted something that's even better for them than we could have done for them. But they just used us as a guide. There's also another organization out there, especially in construction, that's working for you. We call that group the Monday Group. They are large contractors, general contractors, who have said that if you develop a program, we will use those micro LBEs. So far this year, at least until June, micro LBEs have, out of $20 million worth of construction, micro LBEs have been on 2.5 million of those projects. And that number is going up. So they are looking for micro LBEs in construction. If you're there, they'll seek you out. Now it's up to you to make the right bid. They're not going to give you preference if you can't come in with a good bid, but if you got a good bid, and they will use you because you give them discounts. The other thing is, and I don't want to get too far from the agenda, but our policy works a little bit different. Actually, it works similar in our guidelines. You'll see that we have for our program, we have a second tier program, we have a subcontracting program, but the one I mentioned before that's most difficult to use is for goods and services. And how many goods and services? Well, I know we have you. Any other goods and services? Joan? Joan's a micro LBE, and I can't say. And she did a bid and used it, right? I think that's going to turn out okay. Any other goods and services? What do you do?
It's a very specialized thing. It's not construction related, but it's close to it. We do lighting and graphical movies and film editing.
And who handles that? The city? Parks and Rec?
Not so much the city, but public schools, DC, and Grand Valley, quite a bit.
Okay, so if we can get the others on board, that should be a help to you. Okay, now, like I said in the beginning, that there were over 400 companies that we thought should be interested or might be interested in the designation. A lot of you have been micro LBEs for more than a year, and hopefully you've taken advantage of it. But we're still working, trying to convince or trying to let people know that this is something that we do in lieu of having a program that's just a local preference. The city of Grand Rapids doesn't do a local preference. The county doesn't do a local preference. But if you look at those discounts, they work better for people who are local than they will for anybody else. So company in Muskegon cannot pay city income taxes because they're not a city company. But if you're here, you can get that discount. Even if you're in the county, within the county and you work in the city, you're still required to file an income tax. If you're current, that's an easy one. I keep hopping on that one because it makes me so, it's just so easy to get, okay? There are others that take a little bit of effort to get, but that's okay. Our program has been in place since 2004. The program has. Micro LBEs have only been in place since 2009, 2 years, and this being the end of the third year. Every year, the dollars that they're getting is increasing. They're going to continue to increase with GRCC and with our efforts with our next goal. And we don't mind you if you bid with these companies, ask them if they have a micro LBE policy. Because if you come to them in that direction, we're going to come from them politically. Kent County, we're talking to commissioners now. We're skipping purchasing. We're going straight to the top and saying, we've got a program. GRCC has a program. You fit this. Why not? And we'll help you do it. But somehow they need to also know that you want it. So if you're a micro LBE, you bid on a project with the county, ask them, do you have a micro LBE program? At least they will know that there are some people out there with it who are looking for it. Grand Rapids Public School is going to be the hardest nut to crack because we don't know which way to get in. We were at one point, we had a very close relationship when they were doing the construction of their buildings, and now they're going to be doing something again, and that door is going to open up. When they had built the buildings before, they had a lot of good small businesses and local businesses, minority and women, but we didn't have micro LBEs there. And so they didn't know what to do. Now we're telling them, you can use micro LBEs. Hopefully that will be the next time we'll share with you, we got somebody else. We're going to celebrate that. Grand Valley. Even though I see a lot of green up there, which is good, Grand Valley we're really happy with Grand Valley because they, just like Grand Rapids Community College, they understand what we're trying to do. But they have some limitation because they can't just work their programs in Kent County. They have campuses in Holland, they have a campus in Mesquite, and so they can't exclude those organizations. Well, we're working with them now to develop a general policy that if they're in a particular area, they will adopt the program of that area. We have a program, and they do ask for micro LBEs to their contractors. So if you're subbing with them, let them know you're micro LBE, but you won't get a discount with them yet. We're working with that. But what they're doing is developing a policy that will say wherever we're doing work, we will adopt the policy of that particular area. Like I said, the problem is Ottawa County doesn't have a program. Muskegon County doesn't have a program. Allegan doesn't have a program. Ionia doesn't have a program, just Kent County. But we said that's fine. Get started with us and we'll help them if they start one. So we are working on these things, and basically what we want you to know, we're not sitting down waiting for things to happen. We are actively, and we have some power behind us. The Deputy City Manager of Grand Rapids, the President of the college, they meet, and we are part of a group called the Money Group. I mentioned all these large contractors, Rockford and all of them sit at the table and said, if you make it work, we'll use them. And we let them put pressure on Grand Rapids Public Schools, and not so much Grand Valley, but we had to put a lot of pressure on Kent County because they don't feel that they have to, and we're saying, why not? So, any questions about how the program works and still works? Okay. And it's easier to talk to people who are micro LBEs. We invited a lot of people who were not micro LBEs just so that they could hear about the program. And so we will continue to inform them of the opportunities, but the way it will work is when we start showing them that you're getting to work. Okay? And that's all I have. No questions. I like that. Sure. Okay. In the guidelines that we have on our website, and I'll give you that website information under the city's department. Look at our guidelines. We have a map of the general target area. It is a huge portion of the city of Grand Rapids. It includes downtown. I think it goes far south as Burton. It goes over to so close to, runs down Granville. It's up in the northwest side. I don't know the name of the street, but are you trying to pull it up, Patty? She can do it. She's slick. You might be in it. But that particular area is fixed. We've got micro LBEs in that area, but they're waiting to bid, which I understand that. But I said, but in the meantime, why are you going in with just one discount when you can have 3, 4, 5 discounts, percentage points? While she's looking that up, anybody else, any other questions? Well, I have some questions. One of those questions is, those of you who are micro LBEs, you know, we don't get a chance to talk to you that often. We don't get a chance to, we may only get to do this once, maybe twice a year. But we need to have some feedback from you. Tell us what you think we can do to make the program better for you. What else are you looking for? We hear from the general contractors, we hear from professional service groups who look for you, but they don't tell us how you feel. When we first started this program, we brought a lot of small businesses together and said, what do you want to see? Well, that was like 2004. And then again in 2006, after Proposal 2, the city did absolutely nothing, and our participation for small businesses just went right down. And we're saying we have to do something about it. But we do need to hear from you. You've got my email address, and trust me, you're all on WebProcure. I know where you are. I was able to fix a lot of emails because that was one of the reasons why we want you on WebProcure, because anytime something happens, we want to be able to make sure you get that information when everybody else gets it. No, go to the EEO contract compliance at the end.
I have one question.
Yes.
While you're working on this, does the WebProcure already have a printing system which identifies the micro LB?
No. When we put WebProcure together, there's a designation that says small business enterprise. We had asked them to make that micro LBE, and when it came back to us, it said small business enterprise, and we couldn't change it. We will change it at some point. And because of that, we got a lot of people who just said they were small businesses, so we couldn't. But we can look at each one of your profiles and tell that you're micro LBE, and that's how we verify it. Okay. It's your little pointer. Which one is the pointer? Okay. This area right here that's what street is that? Okay, I can't even read it. Okay. Oh God. But well, it's a lot clearer. Make it bigger. There you go. That's okay. The city limit, Knapp Street. The city limits of the city run up to Knapp. It goes all the way around to I don't know what street that is either. Fuller. It goes around. Fuller goes down. On this side, on the west side, it goes all the way out to a Leafdale. I don't know what that is either. But you can see that it covers a large part of the city, because if you look at the city map by itself, you see how much of the city it covers? That's a big chunk, and we have a lot of businesses in that area. So if you're in that area at all, you should consider getting that GTA. That designation stays with you as long as you are in that area. So if you're a micro LBE in the GTA, you get double consideration. And you can get up to 5% for just being there. And that's because that's an area that the city and the federal government has said, we will help any business that's located in that area. And that's how we're going to help them. And just so you know, the program that you're part of, we call it the EBO program. That's why we have all these different types of discounts. We just don't want you to forget about those other discounts. And we're going to expand the 3% from 1 to 3%. We can't match 5% because they say we have a maximum of 5% of any combination of discounts. But we want you to take advantage of all of them. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
It's one of the first ones we've seen where you get the list, not all the E's, which is great. But we were acting as a general contractor. And there's nowhere to indicate on the various forms that we could figure out that a general contractor could be an LBE.
Well, no, there is no discount for the general contractor. The discount, no, and from what you're saying as a subcontractor, right? Did you?
Well, we wanted to go in as a general.
Okay.
All right, the project was within our scope.
There's no discount for a micro LBE bidding as a general unless you are bidding, or unless you're a sub. Okay, the general contractors get the discount for using you. The purpose of that was that eventually, when we first started out, we were trying to get more small businesses to work. Period. Now, we are seeing we have micro LBEs who can bid on projects on their own, and that's great, and that's something that we can address. So that would be something that if the micro LBE bids as a general, do they get a discount? Well, we can't let them outdo us, so we'll find a way to do that. So we'll look at that.
At 5% in construction, it will make a difference.
Oh, big time.
At 5% in technology will make a difference.
He knows.
Much spread anymore. These bids are pretty tight. So it is worth your while.
All right, that's a good point. We look, every year we take a look at our bid discounts and which ones are being used and how people are using them and see if we need to make adjustments. Like I said, for goods and services, we're looking at changing that from 1 to 3, and we're going to consider if a micro LBE is a general bidding on a project, which is just a good thing. That's what we want to see happen. Okay? Anybody else?
If I can add that too, I understand what you're saying then. I understand how they do it down at GRCC as an HVAC type of contractor, mechanical contractor. Sometimes the project is HVAC or mechanical, which is a very small bit of general construction. So a lot of times GRCC will release that mechanical as the prime bidder, which would make us the general contractor, but not really. So I think that's kind of a little bit what you're saying there too. And so that's great that you're going to look into it.
Yeah. And we work really close with the city's engineering department, and they try to help us look at things that way. So if they see an opportunity to break up a project so that a micro LBE can bid on it directly, that's okay too. But at the same time, they're saying, but their best opportunity probably would be the sub that. So we listen to them, but we will share with them your concerns that you have. Because I'm pretty proud of, we had, it wasn't Boss Glass. Boss Glass put all the new glass on the city. They were not a micro LBE. And our city commissioners, on every contract that they look, on every one that goes to city commission, the engineering department and purchasing, has to state this bid is either a discounted bid with micro LBEs for this amount of money and who they are. They look to see. if you're there. And if it doesn't have a micro LBE, then that purchasing director or the engineer has to say, we couldn't find them. He has to be able to say that. Patty and I look every other week at every bid, every contract that goes to city commission, and if it's going up and they don't have any information about the efforts for micro LBEs, we stop it before it goes and ask them, you got to defend this. We don't want you to get in trouble, but you have to defend tell us what you did. You may not always get them. We're moving into the area of professional services as well. So if in engineering, when they go out looking for architects, where's Bravo? They here? When they go looking for architects, every RFP that's going out in the city now has to have criteria for selection, and everyone now has to have there's some consideration for micro LBEs. Even if it's a national contract, and we say that they have to go to St. Louis to get a special type of contractor or professional service, we ask them, if you're going to use anybody here, consider our micro LBEs. That will get you points when you bid with us. So we're pushing it really hard. And I appreciate that you guys have gotten a designation, and I'm glad to see that some of you getting work with it. I stay on some people a little bit more than others, but I believe in it, and it's something that will be here. Mansfield doesn't have to be here. I don't have to be here. Patty doesn't have to be here. These things are now being ingrained in what the city does and what GRCC will be doing. Well, we want the county to do the same for you as well. Yes.
I must say, Mr. Mansfield, young lady there, and yourself, you all have gone out of your way to open doors up for us. And many times, Alex and I got frustrated over some of the jobs that we should have had that was really in our backyard to find out someone that don't even live in Grand Rapids actually gets the jobs. So I must say, Alex and his little crew have they actually support us, work for us, and stand up for us. I can't complain. And over at the college, they will give you the opportunity to do work for them. And I guess once they get you to do good work, they keep you. So I will say that much.
We're working really hard with the county. We have some commissioners who are interested, and like I said, Grand Valley really is on board. They're just trying to find a way to make it work. So, but the real egg that's going to be hard to crack because it's a soft egg is GRPS. So we will continue to work for you to get that designation up. We want it to be of value to you, not just with us, but anywhere in this county. And so far, so good. We did a presentation to the statewide purchasing organizations all over the state, public purchasing. And I think it was received well, but you know what we were telling them? That we want to get ahead of the game. We want to be able to have something in place regardless of what the state does, regardless of what the federal government does. We will always have a way to keep our small businesses in the mix. And this is our effort at doing it. And we'll say so far so good, but we know we can expand it and do more as long as you keep using it and as long as we can get some feedback on how to tweak it. And that being said, if there are any other questions, then I will. Yes, sir.
If a general contractor uses multiple micro LBEs, does the discount accumulate up to 5%?
Yes. Yes. We don't care what combination they use. Even if they use one, if they use 5, they can get up to 5%. It's based on the dollar value, just like Mansfield showed the scale. We have a scale, and I think our highest is 18%. If you use more than 18% micro LBEs on your project, you can get to 5%. And a lot of them come in over 18%. But, and we didn't create those numbers based on pull them out of the sky. We did a lot of research to see where contracts were falling for the last 10 years. And we found that 5% in construction, they're right in that mix. They're that close. So somebody should have some edge. And I believe that once they have you as a micro LBE and you do good work, they'll stay with you. Why should they go look for somebody else? We have been criticized by saying, oh, such and such company is getting all the work from Rockford, from Earhart. And we're saying, well, why don't you go find somebody that you can do it for? We don't care as long as the micro LBE is being used. I'm going to stop now. If you have any other questions, I'll hang around afterwards. But we, in our efforts to promote what we do, and we'll take a quick break before, we've also found somebody who is a micro LBE who's now working for you to expand even more opportunities for micro LBEs, and that's Joan Epperson. And if we can take about a 5 or 10 minute break so she can set up, she's going to share something with you that's really especially important to you if you're in construction. And if you're not in construction, you might want to listen to it, because if it works, we're going to go after some other ones. Okay? 10 minutes. Okay.
DPO bid discounts under joint ventures. Says at least one of the joint venture partners is micro LBE. The city will apply a 5% discount.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the criteria there, I suppose?
Well, in our guidelines, it will explain it, but basically it has to be a legal joint venture. You can't be, and you have to be at least 25% of that project has to be controlled by the micro LBE. They can't come in and say they got 5%. They can't be, they have to have at least 25% of that joint venture has to go to a micro LBE. So in order to get that discount. And the criteria is that it has to be a legally formed venture. Now we have 2 legally formed ventures listed with the city that they do special projects. They got pre-qualified as a joint venture, but they're also pre-qualified individually. And so whenever a project that they want to be a joint venture on, they'll bid on it together, and they get that discount right away. They don't have to worry about subs. And the good thing about it is that the micro LBE, the general contractor will still have micro LBE subs. But that micro LBE partner will get him the 5% even if he didn't have them. And so we encourage that. What happens is we get mentor-protege relationships. We've got some people who are in those relationships. We're saying help our micro LBEs. Mentor-protege programs. If you're in a mentor-protege program with a micro LBE, when you bid, because you got to meet some requirements, you got to have at least a 2-year agreement and been in that agreement for at least a year and show us that you're really working with them. Every time you bid 2%, it's helping us out. Now, my favorite one of all discounts is, I did tell you that one's income tax. I won't say that again, but Grand Rapids Public Schools. One of the ways we're going to knock down that door is that we give discounts to contractors or any business that participate in their School of Hope program. And all it takes is 10% of your workforce. Now, if you got 5 people, that's just one person. Just participate in that program where you just go into any school that they let you in. I think, who runs that program? No, it's an organization. Well, whoever runs it. They keep track of how many hours you put in, and they will report that to us. And all we ask them to do, if this company completed, had an employee or somebody in their office go through that teaching, that discount's going to be yours for another year. Those are ones where we get something for that. The city gets something for that. The other thing that was so that we were so adverse with local preference is that we would give a local preference and we got nothing for it. Every one of the discounts that we have, the city benefits. I mean, it's city money. It's taxpayer money. They have to benefit. The one that we're also pushing is local residents. That's the very first one that you see on that list. We're saying, hey, if you hire people that live here, that's worth something to us. You know, more tax revenue, yeah. But putting people back to work or putting people to work, if your employees are living in Grand Rapids, that's 1% if you can get at least 25% of your workforce. And if they live in the GTA that we showed you, we'll give you another percentage, 2% for that. You got it? Are you going to do it there? Okay. Well, now, this is my old school way of doing things, so we'll file out in single file. That's also the ex-military in me. Oh, veterans. If you are a veteran organization, we give discounts for that. We didn't say disabled. We just said if you're a veteran and you own the business, I don't care if you're micro LBE, if you are, that's another discount that you can get from us. Okay, so Joan's ready for us down in the next room. She had to